Makeover Monday Challenge, a weekly challenge brought to you by the Paper Crafters Library and Sunny Stampin' Studios. The purpose of Makeover Monday is to help you learn how to take the ideas and inspiration you find on the internet and make it your own. Now this challenge is strictly a work from your stash challenge, so every Monday I'm going to take a project I find on the internet and show you how I use it for inspiration and how I make it my own using supplies from my stash. Your challenge is to do the same, and I'll give you more details at the end of this video. First off, here's today's inspiration piece. It's a really neat card by Terry Anderson, one of the Paper Crafts magazine go-to gals and an all-around awesome stamper. As I show you my card and how to make it, I'll share with you how I drew inspiration from Terry's piece to create my own take on her card. Instead of using a gradient masking technique with stamping like Terry did to achieve that sort of tri-colored stamped background image on her card, I decided to use different patterns of paper to achieve a similar effect. And I just threw in a couple of extra layers. So I kept my card base the same as Terry's, which is out of a craft cardstock. And this is 4 1/4 by 11 inches folded in half to create a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. Then I have a piece here of mud pie cardstock from Basil. This is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Now for Terry's card, her next layer is the actual stamped portion that she uses that gradient masking technique for. For mine, this is where I added in a piece of pattern paper that's slightly smaller. Now this pattern paper is 3 3/8 by 4 7/8, and this comes from the Echo Park Holly Jolly Christmas collection, which I featured on the blog this past Friday for the giveaway. Then instead of having the stamped center, I have another pattern of paper, this really cool colorful music notes pattern. And this is 2 1/2 by 3 3/4, also comes from the Echo Park Holly Jolly Christmas collection. And then I matted it onto mud pie, which is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. So this is the extra layer that I added for mine and what I opted to substitute the stamping for. Now, when you look at Terry's card, you notice that she has, of her stamped layer and then the matted cardstock, she's rounded the corners, the top left, the bottom right. And I really like that look, so I'm going to be doing the same. For that, I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile Corner Chomper, and I'm using the 1/2 inch corner rounder. And I'm going to do that not only for the pattern paper pieces, but I'm also going to do it for the card. Now for Terry's card, she keeps it square, but I just thought it was such a cool effect with the rounded corners that I decided to mimic the rounding of the pattern paper and round the top left and bottom right corners. So then this pattern paper is going to layer onto the cardstock and then onto the card front like that. And then to carry through that same rounded corner effect, I'm going to do the same to this music note pattern paper as well as the mud pie pattern that it's going to be matted on. So I'm going to set my card base aside for a moment, and I'm going to stick the patterned paper pieces to the cardstock mats. So I'm going to start with the music note one, and I'm going to use my Thermoweb tape runner to center and stick this to my 2 5/8 by 3 7/8 piece of mud pie. And then I'm going to do the same thing with that teal star pattern paper. Now that I have those two matted, I'm going to center and stick the music note pattern paper to the teal star pattern paper. So now my next step is to add my greeting flag, and in Terry's card you see that she creates a greeting flag out of the craft cardstock, and I'm going to do the same. I have my greeting, which I've already stamped on here, in Early Espresso Classic ink from Stampin' Up, and I used my Paper Tray 2009 Holiday Tag collection. Now Terry keeps her flag straight and aligns it with the edge of her card. For my flag, I decided to give it a little fishtail point at the end, and I'm simply doing that by cutting it in this triangular fashion. So you can see I have this point. And then I'm just going to take the edge of my scissors to round the center a little bit and then to round up the ends, so that when it gets stuck to the card, you can see that it has this nice little curve in the center of it. Now to hold it to the card, I'm going to be using some mini glue dots. And for my glue dots, I'm just going to press my flag onto the glue dot. And then I'm going to stick it onto my card. And I'm using the lines of the music notes just as a guide to make sure that I stick this on straight. My next step is then to take a paper piercing tool, and I'm piercing a hole through the end of the craft cardstock all the way through all the layers of patterned paper and cardstock. And because I'm piercing through that many layers, it is a little bit stiff. So I have to do this a few times in and out, and then twisting my paper piercer around a little bit to enlarge the hole. I'm going to insert one of these pink rhinestone brads, and this is also from the Echo Park Holly Jolly Christmas collection. So as you can see, they're all on this cardstock backing, so you just take one off and then insert it through the hole and open up the prongs in the back. So with the prong now open at the back, my last step is to center and stick this on the card. And Terry kept hers flat to the card base, and I decided to pop mine up with Stampin' Dimensionals simply because I really like the look of popping things up with dimensional foam. It just gives it a lot of nice extra visual dimension, I guess you could say. So as you can see here, I've used some dimensional foam, and these are just the ends on my Stampin' Dimensionals from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to peel the backing off, and once I've done that, I'm going to center and stick that to my card front, my craft cardstock. And there you can see what my finished card looks like. So now it's your turn, and here's how the challenge works. Create your own project using Terry's card for inspiration. Post your project on your blog or your online photo gallery if you don't have a blog, and then come back to the Paper Crafters Library blog. Scroll to the bottom of the Makeover Monday challenge post. There you'll see a button that says In Links. Click on that button and there'll be a space for you to put the URL to link to either your blog post or your gallery where you've uploaded your challenge card. Now if you're watching this video from somewhere other than my blog, in the description section of the video there will be a direct link to the Paper Crafters Library Makeover Monday blog post. I will draw one name from all the participants on Monday, December the 5th, and the winner will receive a digital tutorial of their choice, value of up to $25 from the Sunny Stampin' Store. See you on the blog.